there's a kind of loneliness that just doesn't make sense to us, right? You have people around you, you have people that love you and care about you, but you still walk away from every interaction feeling like just something didn't land, like a part of you just wasn't there. And I know this feeling so well. And the most frustrating part about it is that no matter what you try to fix it with, it never works, right? Better conversations, more openness, the feeling still stays. And I want to share with you what I finally understood about where that loneliness comes from, because it's not about the people in your life or the how you communicate, the conversations you have. It's something else entirely. And once I saw it, I stopped wondering whether I was just destined to be this person who always felt slightly unseen, right? Like that's just who I was. And I started looking somewhere that I'd just been completely ignoring. And it also explains not just the loneliness, but also why I kept disappearing into TV shows or video games all the time. And the answer isn't about who's in your life, it's about the part of you that only comes out when you're making something and what happens when you don't. So, what is this part of you that only shows up when you're creating? It's not talent, okay, or or a skill. It's closer to the thing that makes you feel like one person, like that one thing that just ties everything together. Think about the moments that you felt genuinely yourself, not necessarily the most comfortable, just you. For most creatives, I would tend to argue that those moments have something in common, that something was coming out of you as opposed to going into you. You were making a joke that was actually yours, telling a story your way, or making something that only you could make. And it felt right in a way that's hard to explain. In those moments, your humor or your perspective, your way of seeing the world had somewhere to go. That feeling of being whole isn't a mood. It's a byproduct of the creative part of you being active. That part of you that makes you feel like yourself isn't a personality trait. It's what happens when the creative part of you feels like it's actually being used. So when that part stops being used, when the creating stops, then you start to feel it in a very specific way. The different parts of your life begin to feel disconnected from each other. The person at work, the person at home, the person alone, they don't quite like add up to one thing, right? You feel like you're just this split personality sometimes. The people around you are only ever meeting one of those versions, never the one that holds it all together. At least that's the way it feels, right? If you speak to people, they might not say that, but that's the way we feel. So you walk away from interactions, feel like something didn't land. The version of you that would have made the conversation feel real wasn't really there. And over time, you just stop expecting it to show up, right? You start to wonder if you really ever were that person or you just imagined it. So the loneliness isn't about the people around you failing to understand you. It's about the part of you that would make sense of everything being absent from the room. And that's exactly when the screen or TV shows or movies or video games, whatever, start doing something beyond just passing your time. A comedian with a very unique perspective, or a show with a fully realized world, or a character whose identity never wavers, these things feel like relief when we experience them vicariously, obviously, but when we experience them like while watching them. And it feels like relief, not just the entertainment, right? But the relief comes because these are whole things, right? They feel whole. We don't that we feel disconnected, and by just like experiencing them visually, we experience their world as this whole unfragmented thing, right? But it's borrowed, and it works just enough to take the edge off that disconnection that you feel inside. But every hour you spend inside someone else's world is an hour you're not building your own. And the longer that you stay away from creating, the more disconnected things feel. And that makes the borrowed world more necessary, right? Not less. So you're not disappearing into media just to escape your life. You're disappearing into it because someone else's fully expressed world just feels more whole than your own right now. And by the way, if this is resonating with you at all and you want to actually work through this and not just understand it, I'm building a community for exactly this. It's called Reclaim Your Vision. It's completely free to join, link in the description. So the loneliness has a source, and it's not in your relationships, which also means that the fix isn't there either, right? The fix isn't more input, it's more output. Making something, however small, that is actually yours pulls that part of you back into the room. Every time you do, the version of you that holds everything together shows up just a little. And the people around you start meeting someone they recognize as real. But the most important thing is that you start meeting someone that you feel is real. The loneliness you've been trying to fix from the outside already has an address. It's just been waiting for you to show up to it. That part of you that's been absent, the one that makes you feel like one person when it's active, there's a name for what it feels like when that's gone. Most people call it a screen addiction or a lack of discipline, but that's the wrong diagnosis. And the wrong diagnosis also means the wrong fix. I made a video about that somewhere here you can watch if you're interested.